project progress and performance measurement, also known as the earned value metrics, will show everything using Microsoft project. So first we'll have to create a project. Let's say we are going to design a system that requires requirement analysis, software, hardware, design, building them, testing them, and there are some timeline for each of these components. Also, there is predecessor information. So let's say the software design cannot be done until we know what are the requirements are. So say that. All same for the hardware, we need to know the requirement first. Also, the testing and building cannot be done if the software is not designed already. So let me do the predecessor, and then both must be build and test before we integrate them. As soon as you change the predecessor information, you see this Gantt chart view kind of changes on the right side. Let me have the resource name so you can see who is responsible for what in the Gantt chart too. As soon as you type it, it already shows that. So say hardware team is H, build software, build hardware, and then integrate system. To develop the earned value matrix, we need to do the cost. So in this, on the left corner Gantt chart, click on that drop down menu and select resource sheet. So let's set some cost for that. Let's say this different team charges at different rate. So we're just going to type that. Also, I would like to have another type of resource. Let's say we need to buy some machines or hardware for this work. So I'm gonna this will not be a work, this will be type of material. So we can set that cost, let's say $20,000 of worth of equipment we need for this project. So now looks like everything is set up with respect to the cost so that we can develop the earned value matrix. I'm gonna basically go back to the Gantt chart view again. You still don't see the cost here. So if you right click, then you would be able to see the cost associated with different components of the project. To see the total, you'll have to select the project summary. So just click on that Gantt chart tools, and there is this thing called project summary. If you add that, now you'll be able to see. So it's gonna cost $96,000 for this project. Now baseline cost, it still shows 0. You have to set the baseline to show that. So you're gonna go to set a baseline. Let's say there are a bunch of baseline. Let's set as it is, just a baseline. Now we can see some under the baseline. So we set the baseline, basically everything needed. Now we want to develop this earned value matrices. So let's say that we are looking at the progress after say 30 days from now. So we're gonna go to somewhere, let's say May 30 or May 23 or May 30, doesn't really matter. We are at May 30 right here, and we want to see how we are doing, how we are progressing, and we want to develop all those progress matrices here. So we set the project information that today is May 30. Now let's click the right click here and find that earned value table. So that is select the earned value table here. Now we see the earned value table. You still don't see much here because you see here the cost variance, requirement analysis, they're all negative. That means they're all behind the schedule. Let's give the information that, let's say we have the information that the resource analysis or requirement analysis is already done. So let's say that is 100%. So we can set this task, and I'm gonna type a column called %complete, and then I'll give that information. So this is 100% done already. As soon as you type 100%, you see a green kind of dark blue line here. And also say the software also started, done about 10% progress. The hardware also has done 10% project progress. And now we see that the schedule variance is nothing here, meaning that we are on a schedule. However, both software and hardware, they are behind the schedule. Now, to understand all this schedule variance, cost variance, estimate to the completion, budgeted cost and completion, and variance at cost completion at the completion. To understand all that, we have a video explaining in the earlier video. Check that out. I'm going to create a column called SPI index, that is schedule variance index here, and then also the cost performance index, and I will basically move this schedule performance index close to the schedule variance because they're basically exact same thing. And then in terms of understanding, moving there, same meaning basically. So one is ratio, one is just subtraction. So you can see that the less than one means we are behind the schedule, one is okay, and things like that. Now we still don't see any cost variance because we didn't have any information on that. The system is assuming that we spend it exactly what is supposed to spend. But let's add a cost called fixed cost column, where we can give the system some information. Let's say this requirement analysis is done on time. However, they charge $1,000 more, so it costs $1,000. As soon as you type $1,000 here, you see that the cost performance index went down from 1, and also there is a negative, anything parenthesis in this project or Excel indicates negative. So we have a negative cost variance, meaning that we are spending more. And they say for any reason, the software people, they are not they're not working on time, so they want to give us $500 back. So if you type negative 500, you will see that the cost variance will be positive, and also the CPI index will be more than 1. So as you can see right here, so you can change number accordingly, and the system will basically do all this calculation automatically. You don't have to do anything manually. I want to show you one more thing. Let's assume that another month from there, we're going to develop a new status report, what's going on with the project. And I also want to tell the system that our current baseline is this situation. So at this, so we're going to set another baseline today on this, on May 30. And then this will be our second baseline. And let's say the we want to see the progress. We are in June 30 now, and we want to see how we are doing. And as soon as you place June 30, you can see that this line jump, today's date jump to June 30. Now by June 30, we're supposed to complete all of that. So if you just give the system this information, it will automatically basically change everything. However, you need to do a quick thing before you do all of this. You have to go to option and kind of tell the system that what baseline it is going to use. So there are two baseline that we have set. One is this one, and one is the other one. Let's say we are just using the new baseline. So select that, leave everything as it is. You can see some of the stuff has changes there. However, we need some more information there. Let's say software is already done, full complete. Hardware is already done, but the hardware guy basically charged us more, so that let's say they spend $2,000 more to complete the project. Now you can see all this number is changing accordingly. Now you will also see, so this is the second baseline we created later on, but you want to see all these performance matrices based on the first baseline. You can basically go to the option and just change the baseline to this the first baseline that we have created. And if you hit OK, you will see some numbers are going to change like this, the estimate to the completion especially. Now, so anyway, to kind of summarize, basically, you can develop all these matrices using this MS project easily, and you can produce this status report or progress, all these matrices anytime you want with any baseline or anything. I think that's all.